Hello everyone, my name is Demismu and this is my assistant, the Foot. And today we'll talk about Heraclitus. Heraclitus is famous for talking about two things, logos and fire. What is logos and what does it have to do with fire? Let's look at what Heraclitus says. When one listens, not to me, but to the logos, it is wise to agree that all things are one. So we should listen to the logos. But what does logos mean? The words logic and logical come from logos. Another meaning of logos is word. If we connect the two, we get that logos is a word, but not just any word. It is the word that is logical and more precisely true. So Heraclitus is saying, don't listen to me, this is not just my word. Instead, listen to the word that is true. Here's another way of putting it. It is necessary to follow what is common. But although the logos is common, most people live as if they had their own private understanding. So Heraclitus says the logos is common. At the same time, many people live by their own private understanding, in other words, by their own opinion, and lose the sight of truth. So the mere fact that you can see the truth doesn't mean that you will know the truth. There is a difference between an opinion, your own private understanding, as Heraclitus puts it, and what is true. So, what's the truth we should hear? What is the logos saying to us? The logos says, all is one. And according to Heraclitus, if we follow the logos, we will realize that the one is fire. Fire is the principle or arche of all things. The reason why fire is the principle of all things is that it acts as an orchestra conductor of things. Fire acts as a conductor because the world is, according to Heraclitus, in a permanent state of change. Conflict between opposites is the permanent state of things. As he puts it, war is the father and king of all. We already had this idea with Anaximander. For Anaximander, opposites were caught up in a permanent conflict, hot against cold, summer against winter, and so on. And what he called Aperon, or the boundless, served as an impartial judge of all change. With Heraclitus, the focus is not on the stable, immovable judge, but on change itself. Heraclitus is not saying there is change and then there is the unchanging one. He's actually saying change is the one thing that remains the same, and change makes all things one. And fire is a symbol of change. Fire destroys things and rekindles things. Something perishes in a fire and something emerges from fire. And without fire destroying and rekindling things, the world would cease to exist. So Heraclitus asked the same question like the previous thinkers. What remains stable and same underneath change? But instead of answering it's this or that thing, Heraclitus answers it's change itself. Change is what remains the same underneath all things, and change is what makes all things one. Because what connects all things is change and conflict between opposites. Take a river as an example. Why does the river remain the same? Well, because of change. Water flows in the river, but in order for a river to remain what it is, the water in it has to change. To conclude, Heraclitus views change as the principle of all things. Change connects all things because it is through change that things pass into each other. Fire is the symbol of change, of destruction and rebirth, and of permanent war between all opposites. Without fire rekindling the world, without it directing all things, the world would cease to be. So the logos, the truth that all can plainly see but fail to understand, is that change itself is what makes the world what it is. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.